Question that is weighing heavy on my mind these days, it's Thursday, June 5th, is what kind of person do you have to be to sign up to be an ICE agent in 2025? I mean, the southern border is basically closed. They've emptied the prisons of all undocumented immigrants who have been convicted of crimes and sentenced to prison. But Donald Trump and Stephen Miller want ICE and Customs and Border Patrol and Department of Homeland Security to increase the number of daily arrests nationwide of undocumented immigrants from 1,000 people to 3,000 people per day. And even if you do that, I mean, hang on, I have a calculator here. Let's say they do that. That doesn't even get you to 1.1 million people in 1 year if you are arresting 3,000 people every single day. And Donald Trump has said he wants to deport 15 million people. What kind of person do you have to be to voluntarily sign up to become an ICE agent in June of 2025? I would humbly submit that you're not a good person if you're signing up for that in 2025. And, you know, there's a reason that these guys are wearing masks everywhere they go. And they're not wearing badges with their names on them. Because they know what they're doing is bad. And they don't want to be identified. They don't want to be identified. They work for us and we pay them. They are paid with taxpayer dollars. They're not undercover CIA agents operating overseas, you know, under deep cover and with an assumed identity to get state secrets from other countries. They're operating on U.S. soil. And ICE and DHS and the Trump administration believe that we do not have a right to know who they are. And it's like, I was thinking about that earlier. I did a TikTok earlier today about some ICE agents. They've been doing raids in Martha's Vineyard, of all fucking places. And one of the ICE agents, with his mask and his hat and his Oakleys and his assault rifle and his little plate carrier, had a tattoo on the back of his right tricep that was 3 interlocked triangles. It's called a volknot, Volknot. And it's understood in white supremacist circles that is a white supremacy tattoo. And, you know, I really hope there does come a day when we start to find out who some of these fucking assholes are with the horrific things that they're doing to families and women and children and teenagers. I mean, fortunately today, that kid who got picked up, I think he was in New York, that kid who got picked up, he's 18 years old, immigrant, on his way to like a volleyball game or some shit. His high school graduation was this past Sunday, and he spent his high school graduation in an ICE detention facility, 18 years old, held in a big cell with a bunch of men. 18 years old. Fortunately, he was released today. And I can't remember where the community was, but a red community in a red state that everybody voted for Donald Trump. And there was a woman named Carol in their community. She was Asian. I'm not sure if she was a Vietnamese immigrant. Everybody in the community knew her. Everybody loved her. She was a mom, had 3 kids. She's been here for 30 or 40 years. She spent a couple of weeks in ICE detention. She was released last night. But those fucking people in that community, every single fucking one of them voted for that. They just didn't vote for it to happen to someone that they knew. They spoke out on her behalf. They signed petitions on her behalf. They wore T-shirts with her picture on them. Are they denouncing Donald Trump? No. No. They're just upset that their friend got arrested. They didn't vote for it to happen to her. These fucking people, man. But I was looking over some news just now, and I saw an article in the Los Angeles Times. A 9-year-old boy from Torrance, California, which is outside of Los Angeles, has been in ICE detention for several days for planned deportation to Honduras. The community is outraged. I've been going to LA for years. I doubt that this community is red or voted for Donald Trump. But earlier this week, residents in Torrance were scrambling to find out what happened to 9-year-old Martir Garcia Lara, a fourth grader at Torrance Elementary School. One day, he simply didn't show up for classes. Teachers and PTA officials believed he was being held at a federal immigration facility with his father, but could not get firm answers. Federal officials confirmed Thursday, today, that the boy and his father were taken into custody on May 29th after checking in with federal officials in downtown Los Angeles. The two were transported to an immigration facility in Texas the following day, and officials planned to deport them to Honduras. Parents with the Torrance Elementary's PTA sent out a letter asking residents to reach out to elected officials to drum up support for the boy. He's 9. He's 9. He's 9. The PTA had few answers, but was committed to making sure the public was aware that he was missing from their community. We are all searching for answers, Torrance Elementary PTA volunteer Rita Villanueva told the Times. When something like this happens, it shakes all of us in the community. There is not a child at our school that we do not treat as our own. The detention is the latest in a string of high-profile immigration enforcement actions over the last week, part of President Trump's promised deportation crackdown. A few days ago, immigration agents raided a popular San Diego restaurant and made arrests, sparking a standoff with outraged residents who were mainly white. Agents also arrested Chinese and Taiwanese nationals at an underground nightclub in the Los Angeles area. This 9-year-old boy had accompanied his father, Martir Garcia Benegas, 50 years old, to an immigration court facility in downtown Los Angeles on May 29th. He had some kind of an appearance or a hearing or something. The father arrived in the United States on July 10th, 2021 with his son, but an immigration judge ordered both the father and son to be deported to Honduras on September 1st, 2022. The father appealed that decision to the Board of Immigration of Appeals on August 11th, 2023, but the appeal was dismissed. The two did not thereafter leave the country as they had been ordered to by the immigration judge. So that's their only offense, being in the United States with less than legal status. But this is a 9-year-old kid who was going to class, and all of his classmates, he just fucking disappeared one day, man. Federal officials initially referred to the boy by the wrong name, but they got his name right. He has attended Torrance Elementary since the first grade, so he's been going there for 3 or 4 years. And we saw video last week. We saw video last week of a mother and her kids going to an immigration court because the mom had an immigration hearing because she's trying to do it legally. And they took the mom into custody and they put zip ties on her kids. They zip tied her kids' hands behind her back. And so it's like, what kind of person in June of 2025 becomes an ICE agent? You're zip tying a 6 or 7 year old little kid's hands behind their back. while you're arresting their mother and these kids are screaming and crying. How big of a fucking piece of shit do you have to be as a human being to choose that as your job? And it's like, I understand why people now say that ICE is the new KKK. ICE is the new KKK. Because these people choose to do this to families, to children. I don't get it, man. I mean, I'm so incredibly grateful that I was raised by parents who taught me empathy and who didn't teach me hate. It's just, but you know, again, I talked in the video that I recorded right before this one. I'm a cisgendered, heterosexual white man who was born in the United States, and I have a law degree. I'm not married, and I don't have any kids. I mean, I have pretty much every privilege and benefit from every privilege this country has to offer, except for generational wealth. And, you know, I think when you step back and look at it big picture, nothing that's happening today with Trump and ICE is inconsistent with the history of this nation. When you take the entirety of that history as a whole, yeah, we made some progress over the last 60 or 70 years. You know, look how this country has treated black and brown people for the past 400 years and how this country has treated women and immigrants. There's nothing that's happening today that's inconsistent with any of that history or with that track record. It's just that Donald Trump and this administration is turbocharging it because they want to bring back a full-throated, out in the open, white supremacist United States, a white male-dominated patriarchy. And it's like when you look at what the policies, the domestic policies of this government is, this administration, their hatred of DEI, their eradication of DEI, their erasure of black and brown and LGBTQIA people and women from the executive branch, from the military, you know, the motivations for most of the policies of this current administration are racism, bigotry, misogyny, homophobia, transphobia, and ableism. And people who look like me need to acknowledge that and understand that and view it and understand it and integrate it in a way that we're not used to doing over the course of our lives. You know, Gen X and younger. I think baby boomers obviously grew up with a lot more racism than most of us did. But it's just, it's very hard to feel any kind of hope or optimism right now. It's very, very challenging to feel any kind of hope or optimism. I kind of lean towards feeling like if you're feeling hope or optimism right now, you're just fucking delusional. But that's me. What do I know? I'm just a dumb country lawyer. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video and, you know, my uplifting, hopeful, optimistic commentary on the current state of affairs in the United States, please click like on this video. Please leave a comment. Please subscribe to my page. It is free to do so. And you can avail yourselves of more of the jocularity that was contained in this particular video. Anyway, what the fuck, man? Tomorrow's Friday. The weekend is here. Please, everyone, please be safe this weekend. And I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.